Welcome to part 2 of my video on non-irrigation in the garden. I got cut off. I ran out of space on my phone, but I want to finish up and talk about 4 things that you really need to be doing if you're going to stop irrigating or mostly stop irrigating. And the first thing I touched on in the last video, you got to start building your soil. If you're still tilling, this will not work for you. It's based on having super rich, amended, deep soil in raised beds that you don't walk in. If you have very poor soil, lots of sand or clay, you are going to need to water a lot because that type of soil just isn't going to hold the water. It's going to run right through the sand and it's going to run right off the clay. So you got to start building up your soil in permanent raised beds for this to work. And the second part of that is you stop compacting the soil. This is number 2 in the steps you need to take. I have beds, permanent beds, but I was stepping in them in order to get to weeds, and I saw a lot of plant dieback where I had to step to get into the weeds. So I just put down some stones, so kind of in the middle of the bed, so I always have a place to step. And then underneath the stone it gets a little compacted, but it's limited to that spot. And the third thing that you need to do is stop overwatering in the first place. I talked about that in the first video a lot. If you're overwatering, you're encouraging poor root growth to begin with. Fourth thing you should be doing is mulching. Once you've got everything in place, just get some mulch on. Wood chips, I've got them mostly in my paths. You can put them in the beds. Not a big deal. Just don't till them in or mix them in any way. Leaves, straw, hay is fine. I know people say it isn't, but I use tons of hay in here. It's great. So that's what I recommend to get to the point where you stop wasting all this time and money on watering, and then you can start doing things like harvesting, removing plants, working on your compost piles, eating the food that comes out of your garden, or just enjoying being in the garden.